Namaste. I bow to you. Good morning. It is Thursday. Holy cow. Thursday, April 29th, the year 2001. This week we're exploring the idea of expansion, and I'd like to loop back to the quote that we used on Monday. Life is a concept like the universe that expands as soon as we reach what we think is its edge. Command Kajari. Life is a concept like the universe that expands as soon as we reach what we think is its edge. Please find a comfortable seat. As you arrive, you can softly lower your gaze or even close your eyes if that's comfortable, keeping in mind that this is your personal yoga practice. You are the expert of your experience. For the next 30 minutes, it's the ultimate form of self-care to listen to your body and then to honor what your body is requesting. Hands together in heart center. Notice the very base of your spine, and it might be helpful here to imagine it like an anchor breaking through the surface of the earth and slowly dropping down, rooting down. As you anchor down, energetically lift up through the spine, through the crown of your head. Breathing with your hands pressed together at heart center, thumbs meeting sternum, sternum lifting to the thumbs, shoulders gently gliding together, back and down. I like to mark the beginning and end of practice by chanting and vibrating the sound Om. Has 4 parts, Ah, O, really vibrating and silence. If you'd like to join me, please inhale. Release your hands down to your knees and then wipe the slate clean of everything I said about lengthening your posture. Allow yourself to slouch. Imagine you've been at your desk for 4 hours already. So gravity is pressing down on the spine. Notice what happens here. And then take a full breath in from here. And exhale. One more just to really notice the neck. Now root down, structurally aligning, sitting with integrity. Sit like a yogi once more. Inhale here. Exhale. Let yourself slouch again. Inhale. Exhale. Sit up tall. Inhale. Exhale. Allow yourself to slouch and draw your shoulders up to your ears. Inhale. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Now sit tall. Inhale, shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. Stay with this lengthened spine and notice you have a lot more space when you build this structure from the base up. As you move through your day, as you work, as you drive, you might keep these postural cues in mind, creating more space for the breath to come and go, creating more space for the energy of the body to flow. Hands on shoulders, fingertips in front. You might give your shoulders a squeeze. Doing the best you can with your mobility, start to draw little circles with your elbows. So small, we might not even be able to see it happening. And then let the circles gradually get bigger and bigger. And eventually the circles get just as large as you can. The elbows might nearly kiss in front of your face. And reverse the direction of these elbow circles. You might notice popping or grinding happening in the shoulders. As long as it doesn't hurt, just carry on. Still sitting tall, our circles start to get a little smaller. And a little smaller until we can just barely even see them happening. Allow your shoulders to relax down from your ears. Now open up, expand through your wingspan. And breathe here. You can imagine your fingertips reaching away from each other. Really broad stretch. Relax your jaw. Relax your neck and shoulders as best you can. Drop your left fingertips down to the mat. Right arm reaches up and over, lateral spinal stretch. Inhale here. As you exhale, return through neutral, dropping your right hand, left hand floats up. Side body stretch. Inhale up to neutral, reach long waist. Exhale your hands down to your knees. You might walk your feet and legs a little farther away from your pelvis and begin to draw big circles. Move at a pace that feels good to you. You can keep your awareness on the very, very base of your spine and the pelvic bowl rotating here. Kind of like when you spin a penny and at the very end, before it lies flat, it rotates around the edges. So do we here. Switching directions. Hi, Toby. As you inhale and come forward, you might lift your chin, opening your throat. Exhale back, you might tuck your chin to chest. Now return to neutral, sitting tall. Hands back on shoulders. Inhale to your left, exhale to your right. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Allowing this move to come from the thoracic spine, center of the spine. Returning to neutral, interlace your fingers behind your head. Just like yesterday, we might lean our head back in space slightly. Elbows open super wide. Inhale, twist to your left. Exhale, twist to your right. So we're moving the energy up the spine and also opening up all parts of the ribs from the bottom to the middle. Now we're stretching the topmost part of the ribs. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Return to neutral. Reach your fingertips up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Fingertips come down to the earth. Maybe you grab your blocks if they're handy. You can rest your forehead on the blocks or your hands. Maybe you sway side to side here, or maybe you prefer stillness. 3 to 5 slow breaths. On an inhale, slowly walk the fingertips back towards your body and then back behind you. Fingertips can face your body if that works for you. Draw your shoulder blades together and down, elbows coming towards each other, pointing straight back. Puff your chest up as you inhale and hold this as you exhale. Really broad through the collarbones, broad through the chest. You can stay here if this feels good. For more core activation, we'll plant our feet, bring the knees together, engage your abdominal muscles, navel back towards spine, tip back on your hips, toes spread wide. You might stay hovering here, maybe bring your shins towards parallel, really hugging in your abdominal muscles. You might bring your hands to your legs or even float them up, reaching towards your toes, maybe giving the kitty a scratch. Maybe you straighten your legs out long. But notice if you lengthen your legs, because your brain is saying, go all the way, and then you round your spine. So it's more important here to keep lengthening the spine, engaging the core, maybe lowering the legs down. Breathe here. And option to bring in some bicycle pedaling. So one leg extends and heel taps the ground, and then the other, still lifting the heart, shoulder blades still drawing together and down. We're breathing. And reverse your bicycle pedals. Keep hugging in abdominal muscles. And return to stillness, exploring Navasana boat pose. One more breath. With an exhale, return to easy seat, crossing the opposite leg in front. So probably whichever one you didn't automatically go for. Inhale your arms out and up, reach tall. Exhale, hinge forward, balancing out, working into the deep hip muscles. Again, you might sway side to side. Notice if you're holding tension in the shoulders, the neck or jaw, or anywhere else. See if you can let it go. It's a constant practice. Our body, our brain is always working to protect us. So that's why we don't have to get angry at it whenever it's holding us in tension patterns, because it learned that most likely as a way of keeping us safe. So maybe we could even greet the tension with gratitude. Thank you for trying to help. I got it. You can let go. On an inhale, sit back up tall, make your way into tabletop, and begin to breathe through cow and cat. We do this posture often, so let's still make sure we're bringing a lot of intention and mindfulness to it. So notice the feeling of the mat under your hands. Our fingers are spread wide. Spread your fingers as wide as they can, but then bring your thumbs in about halfway. Notice the mat under your knees, on the tops of your feet. As you move with your breath, you can imagine the movement beginning at the very, very base of your spine. So both the inhale and the exhale initiate from the sacrum. Checking in with our upper arms, making sure we're in alignment. Elbow points face back towards the thighs. So you can always check by putting a little bend in your elbows, noticing which way they go, and then wrapping them around. A few more times moving with your breath here. I think Toby is liking this warmer weather, and I'm getting the thanks for it. All right, tuck your toes, inhale deeply, and on an exhale from the hips, send the hips high. Keep a generous bend in your knees while we find our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And as we breathe and settle in here, I like to remember anytime I use Sanskrit, the original language of yoga, it's a nice reminder that this practice is over 2,500 years old. And as Americans, we can really consider ourselves like tourists in yoga. So we're visiting and learning what we can, hoping to honor the tradition and the culture. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale and exhale. On an inhale, look forward between your hands. And exhale, walk your feet to meet your hands. Hang heavy in Uttanasana, forward fold. Again, I encourage a generous bend in the knees. Most of us have tight hamstrings. And if we force our legs straight, that just moves the tension to the low back. Not what we want to do. So hanging heavy, maybe clasping opposite elbows, maybe swaying side to side. Another breath here. Release your hands, feet hips distance apart, second and third toes centered with the heel. On an inhale, root down to rise all the way up, arms reach out and up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Stand really tall here. Notice your feet, the texture of the mat below them. We're light on our toes here. Lifted in the arches, kneecaps lift. Everything on the front body lifts, so you can think of your front hips lifting towards the heart, and while everything on the front body lifts, the back body anchors down. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward. Bend in the knees is welcome. Flat back all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down to rise up, long spine. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up, fingertips spread wide, big stretch. Exhale, hinge forward, core engaged, lots of integrity in this posture. As you inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down to rise up, long spine, core engaged, reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Once more, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down and rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, adding on. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Hands touch down to blocks or mat. Slowly step your right foot back in space like you're moving through honey. Right knee can lower down or stay lifted. Left ankle is definitely perfectly under the left knee. On an inhale, long spine, reach up. Fingertips keep reaching to the sky, but if your shoulders feel scrunched, just open out wider like you're holding a big beach ball. You might bring your hands to your hips, checking that they are neutral. So there'll be a tendency here for the right hip to be pulling back in space. Guide the right hip forward, left hip back. Tailbone drops while the front hips lift. Long torso and breathe. Another inhale here. Exhale, tap your right knee to the mat. Bring the elbows down towards the side body like a W. Heart lifted, shoulder blades drawing together and down. On an inhale, lengthen your right leg, reach your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, W arms, heart lift, knee tap down. Inhale to reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach one more time. Exhale, hands to blocks or mat. Step yourself back into plank pose. Long line of energy in plank. Push the ground away, hollow in the space of the armpits. One more breath here. And as you exhale, little bend in the knees, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Notice if your hands are on the blocks, maybe your heels get a little closer to the mat today. Inner thighs spiraling up towards the sky, core engaged, pushing the earth away while we let our head and neck hang heavy. Inhale your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat. Left knee can lower down or stay lifted. Inhale, arms reach up. Thinking of our hips being squared, so left hip shifting forward, right hip back. Shoulders stay stacked over hips, so you might lean back in space slightly. Lots of energy going into that back leg. Inhale, really reach. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower that left knee to the mat. Heart stays lifted. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left knee taps down. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Feel the resistance as you draw your shoulder blades together and down. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale your hands down to blocks or mat, preparing for standing splits. We inhale here and exhale, step into the right leg. Left heel reaches towards the sky. We'll stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Feel free to explore finding balance, lifting your hands off the mat perhaps. Try not to grip the mat with your right toes. Let your head and neck hang heavy, finding a drishti, a focal point to gaze at. One more inhalation. As you exhale, set your left foot down. Uttanasana, forward fold. On an inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach out and up. At the top of the inhale, maybe you press your hips forward. Maybe you find a little back bend. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward all the way down. Hands touch down, left foot floats back in space. This time set yourself up for warrior two. So the heel pivots down, heel to arch alignment. On an inhale, we find ourselves into Virabhadrasana 2, warrior two. I always like to glance down at the front foot. Make sure you can see the right big toe on the inside of the right knee. Shoulders are stacked right over hips, fingertips reaching away from each other. Gazing over your right middle finger. Relax your shoulders down, draw the shoulder blades together. You can always adjust your stance. Keep energy going into the pinky side edge of your left foot. On an inhale, flip your right palm to the sky and reach up. Stay here for a breath. Long torso. As you exhale, cartwheel your arms down, finding extended side angle. As always, I encourage you to straighten your bottom arm. That way we avoid the temptation to just send all our weight right into our shoulder. If you glance down, you should not be able to see your left leg. If you can, it means you're probably leaning forward, in which case just back it up. And on an inhale, return to Virabhadrasana 2. Your next inhale, pivot back to high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale your hands down to block or mat. Step yourself back to plank pose. You can always lower your knees in plank. Inhale and exhale. Really hug your core muscles in. Push back through your heels. One more breath cycle here. And with an exhale, a little bend in the knees, send the hips high, downward facing dog. You can always find child's pose. We'll be here 3 to 5 breaths. Plant your right foot, and as you inhale, lift the left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward. Exhale, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Pivot the right heel down. Inhale, find warrior two. Checking in, you can see your left big toe inside your left knee. We're anchored into the pinky side edge of our right foot. Our tailbone is dropped. Hips are open, shoulders over hips, fingertips reaching away from each other. We gaze over our left fingertips without the right shoulder coming along with us. You might open and close your jaw here to be sure you're not clenching it. Flip your left palm to the sky, and on an inhale, sweep your arm up. Stay here for a breath. And with an exhale, cartwheel your arms down, extended side angle. Right arm alongside the ear, making sure that we can't really see our right leg and that there's space between the neck on the left shoulder. So we're not scrunching into it, keeping space. Maybe that means straightening the left fingertips down towards the left ankle. On an inhale, return to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your arms down, finding high lunge here. Preparing for standing splits, we inhale and exhale, step into the left leg, right heel to the sky. Explore balance here, about 3 more breaths. Inhale deeply, and with an exhale, set your right foot down. Pivot on your heels so the toes point out. Bend your knees and sink your hips, excuse me. Finding Malasana garland pose. You can use your triceps and elbows to push your thighs out wide, shoulders coming together and down, hands pressing together in heart center, while you anchor from the base of your spine, lift from the crown of your head. One more breath here. And with an exhale, go ahead and sink your hips. Make your way all the way down onto your back if your roommate will let you. Once you arrive on your spine, cross your right leg over your left thigh. Pick up and scoot your hips to the right just a smidge. Open your arms out wide, knees in towards chest. Inhale, and exhale, let the legs fall off to the left side. Try to keep your shoulders connected to the mat. Imagine drawing your right hip away from your chest, creating a long, spacious torso. Inhale and unwind your legs. Plant your feet down, neutralize your hips. Cross your left leg over your right thigh. Scoot the hips to the left just a little. Breathe as you draw the legs in towards your chest, and as you exhale, the legs fall off to the right side. Top hips working its way away from your face and heart, so we're broad through the torso. Breathe here. Moving with your breath, gently return your feet and legs to neutral. You can extend your legs long for Shavasana, or if you'd like today, you can bring the soles of your feet together, opening your legs out for Supta Baddha Konasana. Wherever you go with it, find a place where you can rest in stillness for the next moment, trusting that this time is incredibly valuable. The ripple effect of this practice touches all aspects of life. Deepen your breath and stretch your body. If you have the time to stay in Shavasana and move into meditation, please do so. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close our practice by meeting in a comfortable seat. With hands together at heart center, we'll close practice by sharing one long round of Om. Inhale deeply. Thank you for sharing your practice. I hope you have a beautiful day.